we enter a new year, I think it's really important to think about where we are in terms of structural change. We're seeing the millennial generation completely changing the way people are living, working, shopping, and in our view, real estate always has to be the first thing to respond to that change.
Post the general election, we've certainly seen a rally in UK-facing REITs, particularly for London, and that's being driven by fund flows back into the UK after a key political risk has been met. The manner in which we leave is still up for debate, and we would be very surprised if the level of current Brexit sentiment doesn't change in both directions as we move through 2020.
We expect a pretty decent year, and I think that will be supported particularly by the London part of our business. We continue to see good demand from our occupiers, and we think there's a decent chance that we'll see more international investment in London than we saw in the last 12 months or so.
I think London has done remarkably well through the uncertainty post-2016, actually. When you look at employment stats, and you look at vacancy stats, and you look at the amount of leasing that's been happening, that's been surprisingly strong in many ways. When you look at the business decisions being taken on the ground, day to day, companies have to move offices. They're in the throes of addressing this great question that's coming from their junior staff around sustainability and around well-being and around the sorts of offices they want to be in, and they are upgrading as a result of that to new buildings. And for developers like us and investors like us, that gives us a huge opportunity. So I think the outlook remains good.
The big thing we've been doing a lot more work on recently is putting an investment into green energy. It's a building we created for Zalando, the online retailer in Verona. We've put something like 7,800 PV cells on the roof. That's generating enough power to service 3,000 homes. And those are the sort of areas that we think there's going to be a lot more investment in the future, and it's a great opportunity.
I started my life in retailing, and 25 years ago everyone took 25-year leases. Now the direction of travel on those leases is shorter, and we're up for those shortening lengths. We have a very good business in Spain. There the average lease length is 3 years. My centres are full, and the rents are growing.
I think it is great that we get to hear, in a pretty frank and candid manner, the views of the analysts, the brokers. I think this year in particular, new themes emerging, that real estate is reinventing itself in some respect as an asset class.
The real benefit of being involved in EPRA is, for me, the networking, and on a European basis, there's nobody else that does what EPRA does. So being at this event and being at other EPRA events that are run throughout the year, I think is a really good use of the Chief Executive's time.